You could tell we've been out for a month. Pickets started to shrink.
Aye.
Hey, you'd think you were one of us to look at him, wouldn't you?
Eh?
He's not a big boozer. Just at junction when he goes. Stands by himself at corner up bar in best room, looking through into tap room. I reckon he'd like to come through, only he can't because he knows we're there.
Oh, we get paid for it, don't they?
You can have it from me. All that responsibility. It's not all that's ever been a manager that knows. Every man's hand against him when there's a dispute on. Nobody loot the entire. He gets the kicks, they get the loot. Tony said that, you know.
A red-haired mate of thine?
R.H. Tony, the daft son. Professor, workers' education chap. He put it a bit different, mind. The odium of capitalism without its profits, he said. They're getting out much, you know.
Hey, does the missus know that's here?
Yes, you bloody doesn't.
I seem to remember the dad telling me you're a member at ruling class.
Just takes opposite sides to him to rile him. If she sees me on picket line, she'll go on for a week about me taking his side against her. I only come for somebody to talk to.
Well, I'll go over and talk to her then. Hey, she's getting a right swing to her, hasn't she? Does she ever fetch the one?
That's buggered it.
I'll go out when Alan comes. You can only have 2 at a time.
Why did he miss 20 past?
They were late off shift. He told us to come on.
Will they keep him on work until the men go back?
Why, they say they will.
Well, they'd better. There'll be nothing to spare even with him working with this one coming on. What are you looking at me like that for?
Nay,
I suppose you'd have deputies out and all.
I didn't come here to talk about strike.
You didn't come here to talk about anything, judging from what we've had so far. You've got a lot to say for yourself and all, haven't you? Do you want the top button of your shirt?
My collar strangles me when I fasten it.
You're a growing lad, aren't you?
Aye. Oh, what are you fiddling with down there?
My cap.
Nip to front door and see if Alan's coming. Go on. Well, go on. You can come straight back. He's going to be like you. Awkward. Have you seen Toby lately?
Not since the day he gave that letter to Sam.
How long would it take Harry to get here from Canada?
Oh, does it matter now?
You know it matters. You know very well it matters. It was you that warned me, wasn't it? Well, you've been proved right, haven't you?
I take no pleasure from it.
And poor old Dad always having to say, I told you so.
I take no pleasure from it.
I've got to get that divorce, Dad.
Oh, worry, lass, it'll come.
It's a week or more to be born, but I see it already on the bed beside me. At night when they turn the lights down and the women start to whisper. What have I done, I say to it. What have I done? And I can see it in Alan when he comes here. We just talk around it. There's no joy in it for us because we're bringing a bastard into the world.
I'll go and see Toby again, dinna fret.
I didn't just take him as a father for Sam, Dad. No, that's not true, I did. In the beginning, I did. But now, look, if it wasn't for this, I'd have everything that you'd wanted me to have. To be happy and cared for and have a place in life.
It'll be right, I promise.
Dad, you won't hold it against the baby, will you? What me and Alan have done.
You know me better than that.
And Sam? He's not Harry, Dad. He's more you than Harry.
Aye, well.
They're what we make them, Dad.
Polly? I don't think there's anybody in yet. You're a union man, aren't you?
I'm on lodge committee, aye. Secretary, as a matter of fact.
Well, happen you'll be able to tell me how long I'm going to have to make this lot last. No wages, no dole.
Well, there'll be strike pay from union.
10 bob a week, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard right, haven't I?
Is he not in then?
Well, there are two, Mr. Barracloughs. You can take your pick. This is one of them.
Barrett?
George, is your dad I'm after?
He's gone to Cuddy to see Aldora. Out I can tell him.
There's a meeting with Machin Monday. If it offers us 2 o'clock.
Right then, I'll let him know.
Bit of a surprise for him, eh?
Why?
I told him we should stand firm on that 7%. We'd not be seeing Machin if he'd closed door, would we? Well, I'll let you tell your dad about Monday then. And I shouldn't worry about them groceries if I were you, missus.
Bouncing bugger!
Sounds to have the right idea to me.
What does that know about it? I told him we should stand firm, he said. We'll settle for 6 in the end, like my dad said.
Your dad didn't get a meeting with Machin, did he?
There knows nought about it.
I know where this lot come from, and it didn't come from your dad, I know that much.
Well, my mum's, aren't there?
Paid for by your Frank.
And if Pit closes, he'll be only one working, won't he?
Machin wouldn't see him if he was going to close Pit.
There knows nought about it.
On the picket, weren't you?
I wonder when that was going to come up.
Getting your name took with management so you can be a martyr like your dad and stop off work for 8 years.
Every other word that says that contradicts itself. My dad said compromise. And they shouted him off platform to the night. But he took no rancor. He set to helping to organise. And they were right in what he said. He were right and they turned their backs on him. He's worth 10 of that bouncing bugger.
You played Judas yourself when it were all over, didn't you? You come home and you sat in the chair and you said, nay, but he's wrong this time. You said, nay, but he's put a foot wrong this time, you said.
Oh, well, I've had time to think now, same as a lot of others. Any road that knows nought about it.
Oh, you say that once more and I'll wrap this bag round your ears.
Go on, then. Tell us what they knows. Tell us all about it.
Hello, love. I left Pram out at bag.
Ah, well, look, I've put your groceries in the school ring.
I'm off to club.
Out at work and off to club? Over my dead body, you are.
Then they can get deaded, because I'll tell thee summat. I've 12 pints due from a draw last Sunday, and I'll tell thee summat else. I'm going to sup 'em. Every drop, now. Tonight. And when I've supped 'em, I'm going to shove me tongue inside glass and lick up Tide Mark. That's what I'm going to do.
Mum coming tomorrow, then?
Aye, we thought we'd turn and turn about.
Alan should be here by now, Sam.
He said that before.
Don't cheek him, ma'am.
Oh, he's right, I did, only Bush should be here from clock.
I'll go.
He's bored stiff.
You should have stopped at home, then.
Well, he wants it both ways. He wants to come, but when he gets there, he can't help being bored.
You don't get it both ways. Sooner he learns it, the better.
He's just a lad. Is his schoolwork any better? Did Frank say? He just talks all round it when I ask him.
Frank says he's improving.
We're only allowed 2.
I'll wait outside, since we're one too many.
Go with your granddad for a bit.
What for?
Because I asked you to. Oh, go on, you can come back later.
Sam? How are you?
Pampered. Don't want to come back to floor scrubbing. Thanks for seeing Sam.
The mum does it all.
She's coming tomorrow. They're taking turns to say fares.
They're all counting their pennies.
But they won't put the deputies out. You'll be right, will you?
Aye. I should be right.
You were sure out with the others, don't you?
Happen.
You'd still be on face if it wasn't for us, wouldn't you?
Happen.
Well, what is it?
I've no rights, do you know that? No rights. If you wanted to have it adopted, there's naught I could do. Naught at all. It stops where you choose what. I don't come into it. They just shove an order for maintenance on me if aught goes wrong between us.
Well, who's been telling you all that?
I went to the library and looked it up.
When?
When we first knew.
And you kept it to yourself all this time?
Not man enough to lock it up for good, was I? And you like this.
Well, I'm glad you've said. Well, there'll be nothing between us, not from me any road. Well, you know that, don't you? Well, go on, say you know it.
Aye, I do. I know it.
Taken me a long time, has it? To come to you like you wanted me to. Well, I've said it. Well, go on, say something then.
I'm full.
I'll make up for all the other time. We both will, for each other. I can't give you them 10 years that I had with Harry, but if I could, I would.
No matter. We're right now.
Aye. We're right now.
That's crossed one off.
That's got one.
Well, I've not supped it.
Aye. And when we get to last, they'll say it's forgetting, not supping. I know. They'll need a few more grey hairs on the head before they catches me with that one.
Did she fetch the one then?
I'll fetch thee one in a minute.
Junction's empty.
There's a stoppage, isn't there?
Constipation, there means.
12 pints on slate from draw last Sunday, right?
A pint, Osbert.
When did that number come off?
Yeah, not mine, lad. Percy Hancock's. I dug the hole for him up at Top Church yesterday. I reckon that's whether this striker they keep on dying. Has Barrett been in?
We were around my mum's house looking for me dad 10 minutes back. I told him we should stand firm, he said. Bouncing bugger.
There's to be a meeting then, with Machin.
So he said.
Must be all right on bar taking till that gets round.
It means nought.
But happened to you as well if your dad didn't show his face in here.
Why shouldn't he show his face in here?
Well, you know how it'll be, where things are.
Nay. Go on, tell me.
Well,
I don't know. I know nought, me.
Well, it's going to get him, isn't it?
Who says it is?
If there's to be a meeting with Machin, I mean.
So there knows what'll be said at this meeting that'll go again him.
Hey, I don't.
There doesn't know what outcome will be.
How the bloody hell do I know what the outcome will be before they've had it?
Well, they said it's going again him. Just 'cause they're having a meeting. Anybody can have a bloody meeting. We're having a meeting now, me and thee. What's clever about it?
No. But it's better to have a meeting than not one, isn't it?
Is it?
Aye. Well, isn't it?
Even if nothing comes out of it?
Well, aye.
Well, what happens then if nothing comes out of it?
Well, I suppose, taking it by and large, another meeting.
Enough for you? What are you reading? Is it a love book?
Love book?
Sam goes to the library every Friday for Ethel. He gets a love book for his aunt and a thriller for his uncle.
Well, you could call it a love book, I suppose.
Read me a bit. I might like it.
He took out a pile of shirts and began throwing them one by one before us. Shirts of sheer linen and thick silk and fine flannel, which lost their folds as they fell and covered the table in many-coloured disarray. While we admired, he brought more, and the soft, rich heap mounted higher. Shirts with stripes and scrolls and plaids, in coral and apple green and lavender and faint orange with monograms of Indian blue. Suddenly, with a strange sound, Daisy bent her head into the shirts and began to cry stormily. "They're such beautiful shirts," she sobbed, her voice muffled in the thick folds. "It makes me sad because I've never seen such beautiful shirts before."
You never got that gramophone you always wanted.
Well, just as well. Not much use without records. Like a car without wheels. I'll go.
Oh, is Jack Barraclough in?
He's over at Cuddy. It's Mr. Fawcett, isn't it?
Aye.
Will you come in, Mr. Fawcett?
Nay, I'll not hang around. When's he back?
8:30 bus.
Aye. Right. Thanks, lad.
I'm in my pip muck. Can they tell?
That looks all right to me.
I washed myself in Beck best as I could afore I got bus. I got our Doris to wait at pit gates with me coat. It was best I could do to get here in time. The fields hard to place, don't they?
Who's to come for?
My mum. She's dying.
I'm sorry to hear that, Rolly.
Aye. It eats at you, doesn't it? Doris?
She's gone, Rolly. Must have been just before we got here. Nurse doesn't know. Angie's gone to fetch her. Come on.
Now then, Jack.
Now then, Rolly.
Jack.
Toby. Polly telephoned me, did she?
Hi. Well, since I was asked.
Hey, there's a right to come if they wants to.
I've heard from him.
You're Harry?
Aye, following on to the other one. He give me another address.
So they can write to him again, can they?
Aye. He wants me to send him his fare.
I see. So we will be coming back.
You want it, don't you?
If it means she'll get the divorce through.
Best road happen.
What's up, Toby?
Eh?
Don't you want him back?
Don't know that I can face him.
You face him.
I've changed towards him, I think. I don't like him like I used to. He's showing me face, it's bound to. That money he took... It weren't just the brass jacket. With him taking it, he could have had it had he asked.
No, that's been trouble. What he's asked is being given.
I knew in t'end I done too much for his own good. But he could have had it had he asked.
To go and leave our daughter with?
Nay, of course not. Not for that, Jack. No. I thought about it a great deal. I've changed towards him in part. Though there's a part doesn't change happen. They wrap themselves round you in their bairns and you can't let go. Not altogether.
He did, we isn't.
Did he? I don't know. Happen that's what he's coming back for.
He's wasting his time if he does.
You can't come between father and son, Jack.
Can't I? I'll show thee whether I can or not.
Not that I blame thee. Not that I blame thee.
He's sold his right.
There's young Sam, though. There's an obligation.
Sam's got his mother.
This lad, she wants to wed.
He's a decent enough lad. They'll not want while he can help it.
Lots of them can't these days, though. Help it. You're all out now at Skeleton, aren't you?
It's in the trade, is it?
Nay, Jack, I'm not getting on it. They say your matching's a devil.
Aye, we're forked tongue and all. Aye, it'd be grand if there was somewhat else.
Somewhat else what?
Remember old Johnny up at Gospel Hall? They'll all be there, he used to say, stoking the fires of hell. And the names were all on the tip of his tongue, but he never dared to say them. Not after Banty Jordan threatened him with 10 rounds up on the loop. Aye, and my list for heaven would likely be Johnny's list for hell. Under manager of hell. Now, that'd be the job if I could pick this Stokers.
Shall I send him fair, Jack?
He'll not come back without it. We need him for that divorce. We need him for naught else. What thou needs him for is up to thee, Toby.
Oh, and there's 2 pairs of his socks to be mended, and they're in an old pillowcase in middle kitchen. Are you listening to me?
Aye.
Give them to me, Mum, and she'll see to them.
Aye, I will.
Well, don't forget.
I'll not forget.
Comes all this way to visit me, then sits there with his head in the clouds, miles away.
I took thee with me.
Where have I been?
Back when we went that day on sidecar we borrowed.
Still worried about Clutch, are you?
Hey.
We keep taking it out and looking at it, don't we?
What?
That day. How's me mum managing? Dad only tells me what he wants me to know.
Oh, she's coping.
It's good old Frank again, isn't it?
Aye.
They'll be chucking us out in a minute. Where's the lad?
He went to the lavatory. I'll go and get him.
Time for off, then.
You don't have to look so pleased about it.
No.
Don't like sitting around in hospitals, do you?
I'd be a funny chap if I did.
Love to everybody.
Aye. Toby's come.
Why didn't he come in?
He didn't want to take up anybody's time. He said he'd come back again Sunday.
No more news of Harry, then?
He's got an address for him. Better than that.
Better?
He's coming back.
From Canada?
Aye, he's coming back.
He's not coming back to me, Dad.
I know that. But we've got him for what we want him for, haven't we? The divorce.
Time's gone against us.
Better late than never.
We've to go. Say goodbye to thee, Mum.
Bye, Mum. Be good for your gran. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
We'll wait outside for thee.
I've just been round to light our Alan the fire.
Oh, I thought he'd be sleeping round here with Sam stopping at Polly's.
There's a bed for him. Seems he'd rather stop on his own than mope.
Just like a man for you, isn't it?
Aye.
We're breastfeeding that did for women, you know. We've got to stop at home, look after the bairns, or they go out and shape life. If it wasn't for that, we'd be out in the world making a much better job of things.
Aye. He should have put busts on men. I'm glad you came round.
I'm bolting the door on George Barraclough tonight if he's not back home by 10, so I should stop me ears with cotton wool if I were you.
What's he been up to now?
He won 12 pints of beer on a draw at the club, and he's not coming in my house with 12 pints of beer inside him.
I should think so on all. You remember my name, then? Ethel. You remember Ethel, do you?
I don't get much time off.
You'd have come to my funeral, though, wouldn't you? What did you promise me when you left here? You promised you'd not lose touch.
Stop grousing. Give her a cup of tea.
She seemed right enough to me.
Aye.
What's the preference then, a lad or a lass?
Nay, Jack.
Hey, what?
A lass would be bastard to her. Life's hard enough on women.
You should put it out of your mind.
How can I?
I can expect other folks to, if I don't.
I pray for a lad, Jack, who can stand up to it.
Pray. That still does a bit of that, does it?
Sometimes I feel I could.
There doesn't, huh?
I talk to my sin instead.
First sign is that the nose.
I'm not a strong-minded chap like that.
Is that what I am? I'll tell thee somewhat. I'll have more to worry thee from yon other than from that that's yet to come.
Hey, Jack, you'll hear thee.
Did thou hear that then?
Aye.
I knows then, doesn't I?
Nurse,
Yes, love?
I've got backache and pains here.
How long?
Half an hour on enough. Have I started?
Is it your first?
No.
Then you ought to know better than me, didn't you? I'll be back in a minute. Bit early to take you to the labour.
Can't get away from it, can you?
What?
The labour.
You know what Mr. Baldwin said? From the cradle to the grave. I'll be back in a minute.
They sent a chap from Pit offices last week to get a machine number from Face. Never been down before. Anyway, when he got down there were nobody spare to take him. So they give him a pony to follow. Well, he got out of its tail, and he got there all right. But coming back, pony set off at a gallop. He fell over trying to keep up, smashed his lamp, and pony took off. Next shift found him, half out of his mind, wandering about like a lost soul. He thought he got lost in its all workings. There's a supped up. If I've not, there's a bloody drain all in bottom. 2 off late, Osbert. Filling up. Word's got round.
It's not like looking on bright side, is there? Kidding themselves on.
Don't you want a settlement, then?
They won't even give us dough and ask if I want a settlement. I could have settled for 6, like my dad said. So we come out for a month, and we still only get 6.
Well, supposing Bartle's out for 7.
He never gets 7, and he knows it.
Well, if he settles for 6, that puts your dad in the right. Your dad stood up at the meeting and said it, and Barrett went with the men against it. So he fight for 7 and settle for 6 and save her like bug dust being moved. Here's Barrett now.
To get that Monday, we could have had it straight off.
Not get it Monday without Martin and Cuddy behind them.
My dad says they'll not come out for us.
I said so myself. Barrett's face tells me we're wrong.
Bouncy bugger.
Why didn't you settle in Durham?
I didn't, that's all.
Folks not to your liking?
No, they were grand.
What's going to happen if they close the pit? What is there for us?
What makes you think I can answer that, Mum?
You're educated. Didn't they teach you to think about these things?
I took history. It connects.
Is that what we are, then? History?
We're all part of that, Mum.
And what part would you say we were?
The suffering past, I hope. From 20 years on.
1956. He'll be 30 then, young Sam. Is it the pit for him, then?
I don't know, it depends.
Answer me straight, Frank.
Well, around the place is not for the brightest, Stephen.
You got a place?
Yeah, I was lucky. Though 1 of 6 or more of us could have got it. I wasn't even the best. I'm just looking the exam, that's all.
He's not bright enough.
He could be, but his heart's just not in it.
I see. So it is the pit, then? Except happen there's not going to be a pit.
Well, they happen every strike, these threats.
Suppose this time it's true. Suppose it does come to an end. Is it war, like your dad says? Is that all we've got to look to?
It could be.
I see.
It doesn't have to be, man.
If it does close, the pit, I want you to go.
Go where?
Anywhere away from here. We shall be back on relief, and what you earn will get taken off it. You've your own life to live. You're not keeping us all your days.
That's not how I look at it.
It's how we look at it. I promised your dad I'd talk to you.
Still wants me to get out and get on, does he?
For your own good.
Aye.
And I want it too, for your own good.
You chucking me out?
You know better than that.
I suppose I'll not go.
Don't you want to get on in life?
Do you know what you're saying? Is that what it means, getting on in life? Turn me back on you, leave you to the means test?
You know what I mean.
I know what you think you mean.
If staying here would have meant you could have helped young Sam...
Plenty of other young Sams I'll be able to help, ma'am. I'm not ambitious, you see. Not in the way you mean. I'm doing what I want to do. You want me to turn me back on that as well?
You can do it in better places than this. I don't understand you at all.
I'm doing what I want to do, where I want to do it. What more could I ask? And anyway, it's not going to come to that.
There's an awkward streak runs right through this family.
You mean you've lost the argument?
You can have it out with your dad. He won't lose.
You've lost the argument.
Clever dick.
I promised my mum fish and chips. I'll cut across to Baxter's. It'll be open by the time I get there.
Aye, right then.
I'll be sleeping with Uncle Frank tonight. I'll see you in the morning.
Now, Barraclough. I'd like a word.
Aye. I'd best come inside then.
All right. Coming a bit faster now.
We'll move you into the labour ward in a bit.
Don't I know you? Aren't you from Skeleton?
I know you. You're Jack Barraclough's lass, aren't you?
Oh, don't worry, we'll look after you.
Sure you'll not have some tea, Mr. Fawcett?
No, Mrs. Barraclough. Thanks all the same, but I shall have to get back. I've chased your lads out, haven't I?
Nay, he often works in scullery.
I'm sorry to have chanced embarrassing you by coming here, Barraclough.
You could come here in broad daylight for all it worries me, Mr. Fawcett. I'm not a young chap after making a reputation for myself. It was you that told Barrett to put me up for check weighman, wasn't it?
I told him I thought you were owed it.
I knew he'd done it to please somebody.
You know, my dad put in for check weighman years ago. The management of the pit where he'd worked wouldn't have him. There was a 2-year court case over it.
So that's how you come to persuade Machin?
You learn as you go along, don't you?
That's a pity. There's no I can offer in return.
Off to bed now, and no argument.
I know school tomorrow. Can I drink?
How many years is it since the Sankey Commission said the pit should be nationalised?
Must be 15 at least.
You know, I turned a corner when I read that report. What was it they said? The present system of ownership and working stands condemned, and some other system should be substituted for it.
A lot of good it did us.
They weren't a committee of pit men or socialists, Barraclough. Most of them were experts, businessmen, baronets.
Aye, and they've not been forgiven by their own.
You can never forgive your own, can you?
I'll not defend myself to you, because I did what were right with what God gave me. I'm not criticising you either. I mean, we both come from the same root. I was given the chance to branch out, that's all.
You're not talking to Daft Billy, Mr. Fawcett. You don't have to defend yourself to me, not in this house, you don't.
I've put my notice in, Barraclough.
I see. So, all right, then. He's closing shop, his mating, isn't he?
He offered me Martin. I didn't feel able to take it.
You got a bit put by, have you?
A bit. I've earned every penny, Barraclough, though it's little enough.
I know naught about investment, except that I've worked to keep others in idleness. In your position, you'll know better how folks can live and give note in return.
I shall be due for retirement in a few years' time. It's a poor, thin sacrifice.
Thought of your dad, did you?
You know, I can feel his shoulders under me when you say that.
We spend our lives paying off debts that nobody asked us to pay. They fought for us because we lived in them as a hope of something better for tomorrow. When is it going to be something better for today?
There's naught to be done for Skeleton.
He's going to make us bleed, like he said, is he?
If Cuddy and Martin come out, he'll make them bleed too.
Is that why you come?
It seemed worth the walk.
You crossed the line when you made that walk, didn't you?
Only back where I started. Look, I shall have to ask you not to say that I told you this. I've a lad that's under manager, not so far from here.
That pigeon you lost. Did she never come home?
No. She never did.
Rolly?
Dora Barraclough, isn't it?
I'm sorry about your mum, Rolly.
I'm waiting for her things. I saw your dad. All right, are you?
I think so. I think I am. I'm sorry, Rolly.
Aye, it's a loss, isn't it?
They're always creating a bloody bother.
Does I see him? Up and down like a bloody ball.
Perhaps it's what they call an optical illusion.
The what?
Well, perhaps he stood still and Dad's moving up and down.
What's the meaning of that?
Well, has had a few pints, George. Get him out of the head, eh? That's obsessed with him.
Don't text him at all, so...
They and a lot more. But leave him be, eh? We'll see no more of him when they vote a committee next June.
He's looking at me. Saying something to that Kirby.
It's all in the mind, George.
Where's the dad, Barraclough?
He spoke to thee, George.
Today I haven't heard him.
Is the deaf lad?
Hey, don't aggravate him, George.
It's not. It's all in the mind, so...
Did they not hear me?
Said something, did they?
I asked thee where the dad was.
Well, he's not here, is he? What's they want him for?
Something I want to have out with your dad. Standing on a platform laying the law down about chaps filling dirt.
Mention the names. Any of them that fills it will know who we meant.
Thou fills it. We all fill it. It falls into tubs when they're going out by. Somebody chucks a stone in to get rid of it.
Do they?
Aye.
I'd never have thought of that myself. Fancy that.
He's had his bloody day. He'd best keep his bloody mouth shut in future or
Kept
something.
his mouth shut in past, it'd be worse for thee, Kirby.
Oh?
9 years out of work for something like thee.
Thou knows what thou was asking for.
Ah!
Oh.
Something I can't give me.
Try.
On, try the luck. Give me what I'm asking for.
Get up. Come on.
Get up back. Get him back. Get him back. Get him off.
Get thyself home.
Tell him what your own bugger said.
Never mind what he said. Get thyself home on dot.
He was standing for these, Jack.
When he stands for me sober, I'll take heed. How much has he spent?
No. He'd 12 pints to come on a draw. He's 6 still to come.
I'd best get him out of his road then, hadn't I? Husband!
So, we wed at last, you and Dick.
Aye.
Living with your mum, are they?
Aye.
And Mrs. Holland's met her match. Did they fight much? He plays rugby for Cuddy, Ethel says.
Me? Me?
Oh, come on, spit it out.
I've nowhere to go.
What's up then?
I left Mrs. Hollins this afternoon.
Has she sacked you?
I went to my mum's, but my dad was there and I couldn't tell her.
What couldn't you tell her, love?
Arthur, Mrs. Hollins' chap. He tried to make me.
Yeah, all right then. Just take it easy, love.
I can't go back.
The bugger.
I can't go back, me.
You'll not go back.
There's no room for me at home now Dick's wed. I've nowhere to go.
Oh, yes, you have. You're here.
Here? Oh, I couldn't, May. I couldn't, not here.
Not because of our Alan.
I couldn't.
Just tell me what else you can do then.
It'd embarrassing me.
Where's your things?
Mrs. Hollins. But...
There's no fish. I've got your fritters instead.
Eileen?
She'd know where to go. She's stopping here for night. You'll have to fetch her things from Mrs. Hollins. Now let me tell you something, both of you. We've all got feelings of one sort and another. But without food to put in your belly and a place to sleep at night, you might as well leave this world as soon as convenient. You forget what's been. Live with things as they are, for better or for worse. You understand? There's plenty worse off than you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. What a bloody life.
Come on, love. One more go.
One more push. One little push.
Easy now.
That's a good girl. There we are. That's a good girl. You're a very good girl. You've got a beautiful little boy. Now hold this. Your sister's the clock, please. That's a good girl. There, you can relax now. Sister, she's hemorrhaging. Nurse, go and get Macy. Tell her to get the doctor.
Waking up at this time?
It was him.
Thought better of the...
What?
I mean, enough bother with the gram as it is.
I'll say I had a nightmare.
I'd get her and make room for somebody else if I doubt about me.
Out of what?
Off you go. What are you doing up?
I had a nightmare.
What'd she say?
I'll not repeat it now. You're allowed back in. Be thankful.
Why didn't you start on me, is she?
I wouldn't have too much to say for myself if I were you. Have you seen the time?
It's late.
They went down to welfare to try and see Barrett.
I'll take a walk that way.
Don't tell him I said out. It's not often he's out at this time.
Just a walk.
Now stop leaking with that and get it drunk. You should be asleep.
I had a nightmare.
So you said.
I'm used to my mum seeing me off.
You're a big lad now. You shouldn't need seeing off.
I mean, when I have nightmares, she reads to me.
Oh, it's no good asking me to read to you, love. Not in that light. Your grand's glasses aren't right.
Will he see me upstairs then?
Aye. I'll see thee upstairs.
Dad, they said at the bar... You all right, Dad?
Of course I'm right. Sent to fetch me.
No, fancied a Jill.
Had a bad lie, aren't they, lad? Worrying about me, is she?
Aye, a bit.
It's not often the dad stops out, is it? Oh. What are you looking at me for? Have you never been drunk?
No.
I can believe that. Bruised and starved if there were more like thee, and that'd be a blessing for some.
Aye.
Shamed on me. Shamed on me, aren't they?
I'm not ashamed of you, Dad.
Ah, that's an odd lad. You'd think I were carrying smallpox in there tonight, except for one or two. I could have told them, though, couldn't I? Oh. I've found out what it feels like to be raped and to keep your trap shut.
Will Cuddy and Martin come out?
Barrett thinks so.
And you?
Happen they will, for a day or two, till they get the wind of things.
And then what?
Then they'll go back again. What else can they do? What I said at the meeting the other night, we're all fun out. All fun out.
It was right to be said.
We're back where we started, Frank.
Doctor's come. He's come too late.
I used to make myself known like that. I were right now.